let's talk about some unserious news today, or you could maybe think of it as being serious. So let's talk about Stefan Diggs, who was found not guilty of assaulting his live in chef, the BBL chef. It's nothing wrong with her having a BBL. Yeah, but the BBL living in the house with him, he could have went another route and gotten a personal chef. The team has personal chefs. He could have went about that another way. And they did just so happen to have a sexual relationship, allegedly. But at any rate, she was suing him, I think, for about $5 million or something like that. And he won. She lost. He won. And I want to pose some questions about these types of things with professional athletes. Do you think, and I've heard this like in rumor wise anyway, do you think that they should have vasectomies? Because you know a vasectomy can be reversed. Do you think they should have vasectomies, when they're just running around, since apparently a lot of them don't like to use protection, obviously. He had multiple women pregnant at the same time. Allegedly true. He started having the relationship, the intimate relationship with the chef. Then she knew of other relationships he was having, I think, with one of his assistants, allegedly. And of course, because she lived in the house with him, she knew Cardi B. But at any rate, and she said that she and Cardi were supposed to be dressing up to go somewhere or another. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But maybe they should, these professional athletes maybe should think about doing vasectomy. Some of the singers too, maybe think about doing vasectomies until they're ready to settle down with one person, if ever, because those can be reversed. Vasectomies can be reversed. And then also, do people need to be taken to court more often to be taught about unnecessary, what I call, I guess you could say, lusting after people, where they just can't seem to control themselves? Because she really, what's her name? Mila Adams. I watched some of the court hearing and she wasn't convincing at all. She wasn't believable at all. So I wonder, do they need to be taken to court more often? Are things necessary like this to happen to them, the professional athletes, in order for them to maybe slow down? I don't know. I mean, not to judge anybody, but it's a lot of suing going on. When they start having these relationships with people, the relationships don't work out. They don't become maybe what the women wanted to become, and they get mad and sue them. Because one of the things I heard that happened, I was watching the court case, she said that he slapped her with his right hand on the right side of her face, and he was facing her. So I'm like, the only way that could happen is if he's backhanded her, right? Otherwise, the slap would have been an open hand slap would have been on the left side of her face. But anyway, it was some dramatics and everything she did. It wasn't matching up. And so she lost that. But anyway, and just because you sleep with somebody, and I thought we knew this in 2026. I thought we've always known this, that just because you sleep with somebody doesn't mean that they love you. Y'all are just having sex, right? And, when you're having sex with somebody that has multiple women pregnant at the same time, that should tell you that that relationship is going to probably be nothing more than a sexual relationship. And you maybe should think about not wanting any more than a sexual relationship, right? When you're dealing with someone who has multiple people pregnant at the same time. And if you're cool with that, then cool. But if you're not, then you probably don't want to get into that. You don't want to sleep with them. You don't want to start liking them as anything more than a friend. If you're cool with it, then be cool with it. Don't get mad when the baby mama start coming around or he ain't paying you no attention. He can't. He has multiple newborns. He can't pay you no attention. And on that note, my man Chris Breezy. I love Chris Brown. I love his music, dancing. He's very talented. He has 3 baby mamas, I think, and a fourth baby mama who is currently pregnant. But anyway, from what I understand, he and the 3rd baby mama are having a back and forth over custody and child support of their child, who I believe is 4 years old, I think it is. And again, ladies, when men have multiple baby mamas, don't get mad at them when they don't stay with you after you become another one of the baby mamas. They showed you who they were. Believe them. And a question I have is about what you call the nuclear family, like a married mom and dad, the kids in the house. Is that even a dream now for people? It used to be men and women dreamed of doing that, getting married, having children with their husband, wife, one husband, one wife, or even if you get divorced, you get married again before you have kids. Are people they're just not into that anymore, it seems. And that, to each your own. But I'm just wondering, you could give me some feedback about that. Is that a thing? Excuse my dogs. So that's a question I have, Is everybody just cool now with having a relationship and a child and then saying, F it, this is what it is?